She was sweeping the office late at night when the CEO overheard her effortlessly switching between 7 different languages: English, French, Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic, Russian, and German. What happened next stunned everyone at Harris Tech. Most employees barely noticed the cleaning staff. It wasn't that they were invisible on purpose. They simply moved quietly through the halls, dusting desks and emptying trash cans, fading into the background like white noise. Samantha Collins had always been the kind of person who lived quietly in the background, unnoticed by most people around her. For the past 5 years, she had worked as a janitor at Harris Tech, a major tech company headquartered in downtown Chicago. Every evening when the office buzz had died down and the employees had left for the day, Samantha would begin her routine. She pushed her cleaning cart through the glass-walled hallways, wiping down desks, emptying trash bins, and mopping floors. The shiny offices, the flickering computer screens, and the corporate chatter that filled the air during the day faded into silence, replaced only by the soft hum of the air conditioning and the occasional distant echo of footsteps. Despite working in such a high-powered environment, Samantha's life was a quiet contrast to the fast-paced world around her. Most of the staff barely acknowledged her presence, treating her as part of the background scenery rather than a person with her own story. She was never rude or demanding, simply focused on her work, always respectful and polite to anyone she encountered. The employees at Harris Tech had no reason to pay attention to her. Why would they? After all, she was just the janitor. But Samantha's story was far from ordinary. Beneath her humble uniform and mop bucket lay a mind rich with knowledge and experience that few could ever guess. Samantha was a gifted linguist, fluent in 7 languages: English, Mandarin, Spanish, French, Arabic, Russian, and German. She had grown up in a multicultural neighborhood in Chicago, surrounded by families from all over the world. From a young age, she was fascinated by languages, devouring books, listening to foreign radio broadcasts, and teaching herself how to speak and write in tongues that most people in her community never dreamed of learning. Life had not been easy. Samantha's family struggled financially, and she had to take on jobs early to help make ends meet. Although she had dreams of becoming a translator or diplomat, reality forced her into a series of low-paying jobs. Eventually, she took the janitor position at Harris Tech just to pay the bills, keeping her passion for languages a secret. It was her way of surviving, blending in, working hard, and waiting for an opportunity that might never come. One evening, as Samantha was cleaning the break room on the executive floor, fate intervened. Michael Reynolds, the CEO of Harris Tech, had stayed late that night preparing for an important international conference call. As he stepped out to get a coffee, he paused just outside the door, his attention caught by a conversation he hadn't expected to hear. Samantha was speaking on her cell phone, and the voice he heard was not the quiet janitor he thought he knew, but a confident woman effortlessly switching between Mandarin, Spanish, and French. Her accent was flawless, her tone professional, and her words precise. She was negotiating something important. Michael, a man used to dealing with global partners, immediately recognized the significance. Curious, he lingered just out of sight, listening as Samantha shifted seamlessly to Arabic and then to Russian, ending with a quick greeting in German. The sheer skill and knowledge she displayed stunned him. How could someone in her position possess such extraordinary talent? That night, Michael couldn't shake the feeling that he had just witnessed something rare. He watched Samantha finish her call, pack up her things, and quietly exit the room. The next day, determined to uncover the truth, he asked his assistant to arrange a meeting with her. When Samantha arrived at Michael's office, she was nervous but composed. She expected perhaps a routine question about cleaning schedules, but instead found herself facing the company's highest-ranking executive. Michael looked at her kindly and said, "I heard you speaking several languages last night. Tell me about that." Samantha hesitated but then shared her story, her love for languages, her dreams of using them in the business world, and the reality that forced her into the janitor's role. She explained how she studied on her own time, kept her skills hidden, and longed for a chance to prove herself beyond the cleaning cart. Michael listened intently, impressed not only by her abilities but by her humility and determination. "I don't want talent like yours to go unnoticed," he said. "There's more to you than what most people see, Samantha. How would you like to use those skills here at Harris Tech?" For Samantha, the offer was life-changing. She hadn't expected such recognition from the CEO, let alone a chance to step into a new role within the company. But Michael was serious. He wanted her to join the international relations team as an intern, giving her the opportunity to work alongside professionals, use her language skills, and contribute to the company's global expansion. Samantha's world shifted overnight. The quiet janitor who once moved invisibly through empty halls was now stepping into meeting rooms, attending conference calls, and translating documents critical to Harris Tech's success. Yet the transition wasn't easy. Some employees were skeptical, some even dismissive, unable to reconcile the janitor they had ignored with the talented linguist now sitting beside them. But Samantha's work spoke louder than doubts, and her determination fueled her progress. Samantha's new journey was marked by both challenge and hope. She proved that no matter your job title, hidden talents can change your life if someone takes the time to listen. Samantha's first few weeks on the international relations team were a whirlwind of new experiences and challenges. Though her knowledge of languages was exceptional, she quickly learned that working inside a corporate office was an entirely different world from the quiet, solitary hours she had spent studying alone. The meetings were fast-paced, filled with jargon, charts, and personalities that demanded more than just language skills. They required confidence, networking, and an understanding of business culture. At first, Samantha felt like an outsider. Many of her new colleagues barely knew who she was, and some still saw her as the janitor who had been given a chance out of charity or whimsy. The whispers behind her back were hard to ignore. "How does a cleaning lady fit in here?" one manager muttered. Another laughed quietly. "Maybe it's a PR stunt." But Samantha was determined to prove them wrong. She knew that her value wasn't in her past job, but in what she could contribute moving forward. She started arriving early and staying late, studying company reports, learning about the products Harris Tech developed, and getting familiar with the key players in their international markets. Her colleagues began to notice her work ethic and how quickly she grasped complex concepts. One day, the team was preparing for a crucial video conference with potential partners from China, Spain, and France. The stakes were high. A successful deal could open doors to new contracts worth millions. When the meeting started, the lead negotiator stumbled over a complicated question in Mandarin, and the conversation faltered. Samantha quietly offered to assist, smoothly translating technical terms and helping clarify points in all three languages. Her precise interpretation not only kept the meeting on track, but impressed everyone on the call. Michael Reynolds, the CEO, who occasionally dropped in to observe the team's progress, was watching from the sidelines. He saw Samantha's confidence grow as she contributed more and more during these high-pressure moments. She was no longer the invisible janitor. She was becoming an indispensable part of the team. Outside the office, Samantha's life was changing too. The new role brought financial stability and respect she had never experienced before. She moved out of the small apartment she shared with her sister and rented a modest but comfortable place closer to work. Her sister, Emily, was proud and amazed at Samantha's transformation, calling her inspirational and telling all their friends about her sister's incredible journey. Despite the success, Samantha stayed humble and grounded. She never forgot the long nights of cleaning offices, the loneliness of hiding her talents, or the feeling of being overlooked. She often thought about the other janitors and support staff who had dreams but no platform. It fueled her desire to give back, to make sure no one like her was ignored again. One afternoon, during a team lunch, Samantha noticed a few of the janitors eating in the break room nearby. She remembered how she once sat there alone, unnoticed. Gathering her courage, she invited some of them to join the team's cafeteria the next week for an informal meet and greet. The gesture surprised her coworkers, but also earned respect. It was a small step, but Samantha wanted to bridge the gap between departments to show that talent and worth come in many forms. Meanwhile, Michael Reynolds was impressed enough to promote Samantha to a full-time language specialist. Her duties expanded beyond translation. She began advising on cultural nuances, helping marketing craft messages that resonated in different countries, and even participating in strategy meetings. Her ability to navigate not just languages but cultures gave Harris Tech a competitive edge. However, not everyone was happy about Samantha's rise. Some senior staff, feeling threatened by her sudden influence, started pushing back. Subtle obstacles appeared, missed invitations to meetings, delayed emails, and questioning her qualifications in front of clients. Samantha faced these challenges with grace, but knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy. One day, an important project required a trip to Berlin to meet with German partners. Samantha was chosen to accompany the executive team as the primary interpreter and cultural advisor. It was her first business trip and a chance to prove herself on an international stage. In Berlin, Samantha impressed everyone with her professionalism and insight. She navigated difficult negotiations, eased tensions when misunderstandings arose, and helped the team close a deal that had seemed stalled for months. Her work earned praise not only from her colleagues, but from the German partners themselves, who appreciated her genuine understanding of their language and culture. Returning to Chicago, Samantha felt a deep sense of accomplishment. She had come a long way from the quiet janitor pushing a mop through empty hallways. Yet she remained focused on what lay ahead, building a career where her skills and passions could truly shine. The journey wasn't just about personal success anymore. It was about breaking stereotypes and inspiring others. Samantha began volunteering to teach language classes to support staff and local community groups. She shared her story openly, encouraging others to never give up on their dreams, no matter where they started. Through it all, Michael Reynolds remained a steady supporter. He often told her, "You're proof that talent can be anywhere, Samantha. It's not where you start, but how you seize your chance." His belief in her gave Samantha the confidence to keep pushing forward. Samantha, standing in the company lobby one evening, reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. From the shadows of the janitor's closet to the spotlight of the boardroom, she was no longer invisible. And this was just the beginning. As Samantha settled into her new role, she knew the real test was just beginning. While she had proven her linguistic skills and cultural savvy, the corporate world was filled with challenges that went beyond translating words. The stakes were higher, and every decision could impact millions of dollars and countless employees' futures. Samantha was eager but cautious, aware that her success was under close scrutiny. One morning, an urgent crisis struck Harris Tech. A key overseas partner in Japan had suddenly pulled out of a multi-million-dollar deal. The reason wasn't immediately clear, but rumors swirled about miscommunication and cultural misunderstandings. The potential loss could damage the company's expansion plans and reputation in Asia. Michael Reynolds called an emergency meeting with the international relations team. Samantha sat at the table, heart pounding but focused. As the team discussed strategies, It became clear that the Japanese partners felt disrespected during recent negotiations. Something subtle and lost in translation, a tone or gesture that, in Japanese business culture, carried far more weight than anyone realized. Samantha volunteered to take the lead on repairing the relationship. She knew this was her moment to show that her skills extended beyond languages to true cultural diplomacy. Michael supported her decision, trusting her instincts. Over the next few days, Samantha immersed herself in research about Japanese customs and etiquette. She consulted with experts and even reached out to contacts she had made during her language studies. She prepared meticulously for the trip to Tokyo, determined to mend the fragile partnership. Arriving in Japan, Samantha was struck by the precision and formality of the business environment. She felt a renewed sense of respect for the culture and a responsibility to represent Harris Tech with the utmost care. Her Japanese was flawless, but it was her understanding of unspoken cultural nuances that truly made a difference. In a series of carefully planned meetings, Samantha conveyed Harris Tech's sincerity and commitment. She listened attentively, acknowledging the partner's concerns without defensiveness. She used appropriate honorifics, gestures, and pauses, all the subtle cues that Japanese business etiquette demands. Her efforts paid off. The Japanese executives softened, and the discussions shifted from tense to collaborative. By the end of her visit, Samantha had helped rebuild trust and secured a path forward for the partnership. Michael's confidence in her grew even stronger. Back in Chicago, word of Samantha's success in Japan spread quickly. Colleagues who had doubted her now saw her as a vital asset to the company's global ambitions. Invitations to high-level meetings increased, and Samantha found herself mentoring junior employees eager to learn from her experience. Despite the growing respect, Samantha remained grounded. She remembered the janitor's closet and the quiet nights cleaning floors, and she never lost her empathy for those still overlooked. She pushed for better communication channels within the company, advocating for inclusion of support staff in corporate culture events and training programs. Her efforts caught the attention of the Human Resources Department, which began working with Samantha to develop a company-wide diversity and inclusion initiative. She was invited to speak at conferences and panels about breaking barriers and harnessing hidden talents in the workplace. Yet not all challenges were external. As Samantha's profile rose, office politics became more complex. Rivalries intensified, and some senior executives saw her as a threat to their influence. Subtle attempts to undermine her work increased. Missed emails, last-minute meeting changes, and occasionally direct criticism of her ideas in public forums. Samantha faced these setbacks with resilience. She learned to navigate office politics carefully, building alliances and demonstrating professionalism even when provoked. Her mentor, Michael, advised her to focus on results rather than getting distracted by detractors. The turning point came when Harris Tech announced a major international conference in New York. The event was a showcase for the company's innovations and a chance to attract new partners. Samantha was chosen to lead the cultural liaison team, coordinating with translators, diplomats, and marketing experts. The weeks leading up to the conference were intense. Samantha worked around the clock, managing logistics, briefing speakers, and ensuring that every detail honored the diverse cultures represented. Her leadership skills shone, and the team grew to respect her calm determination and vision. On the first day of the conference, everything went smoothly. Delegates from over 20 countries praised Harris Tech's professionalism and cultural sensitivity. Samantha's work helped break down barriers and foster new collaborations. Media coverage highlighted the company's commitment to diversity, with Samantha often interviewed as a key figure behind the scenes. That evening at the conference gala, Michael Reynolds publicly acknowledged Samantha's contributions. Her journey from janitor to cultural ambassador is a testament to talent, hard work, and the power of opportunity, he said. The room erupted in applause. Samantha felt a mix of pride and humility. She knew the journey wasn't over, but moments like this affirmed her purpose. She had transformed not only her own life, but also the culture of Harris Tech, opening doors for others who might have once been invisible. As the conference wrapped up, Samantha received a message from Emily, her sister, full of congratulations and hope for the future. Samantha smiled, thinking of how far she'd come, and how many people she still wanted to help along the way. Sometimes greatness hides in plain sight. Samantha's story reminds us that talent, humility, and dedication can break through even the toughest barriers. If her journey inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories that reveal the extraordinary in the ordinary. And remember, never underestimate the quiet ones. They might just change the world. See you in the next story.